I'm Stefan Kirkpatrick. Me and Desi, my wife, and little Ezra, we're kind of running a family operation here with the Buffalo Dairy and Sourdough Bakery. We decided to go for it with this Buffalo business, and at the same time we kind of decided to Desi was baking some amazing bread and croissants, and we're working at selling it at the farmers market to try and raise money because we were spending it all on this other crazy idea. So then that kind of started taking off. So then the past year has been trying to set up both of these simultaneous businesses that are about living foods and good food that tries to come from one place and goes through as little processing and handling as possible. Between starting the two businesses, I don't know if we really had a huge amount of foresight about how much energy and time this was going to take. But it feels really good. We're finally at a point now where we can start marking our accomplishments. We were working on all these things for so long and it was like on so many different fronts that nothing was getting fully ticked off the list. And now we're at a point where everything's kind of getting ticked off the list. And that's starting to feel really good. Soon it's going to be nice. It really is. I'm a little bit of a romantic kind of guy, and I've had to check myself a few times and realize that, you can't get into farming and expect that it's not going to be huge amounts of work all the time, and you're always going to have stuff that's not done. I appreciate that, and I understand that, and I like to work hard, so that's good. That's fine. I like being with the animals a lot. They can be a lesson in patience, absolutely. I think any animal can teach you that, especially when we're trying to get milk out of them. So I think they kind of make you a better person in that way. Right now we're milking once a day. So we just separate the calves at night and milk them in the morning. We'll probably switch that pretty soon to twice a day, depending on how the girls like it, because we'll be able to wean the calves pretty soon. Pretty much just getting the milking system really figured out, getting everything ironed out in it, figuring out how to make it as efficient and clean as possible. Then for the most part, just Norm here has got to do his job and try and get these girls pregnant again so they can calf next spring, hopefully, and then we'll have more. Right now we just have the two animals being milked, so we're making so little cheese. It's just enough really for this small area, and it's impossible to make more cheese than we have milk with. So this summer and this first year is pretty much a learning thing for us, but we're kind of trying to play the long game with it a little bit. With the dairy facility, the inspections have all pretty much gone through. We've been working on it for a couple years, and it's been a challenge dealing with all the regulation stuff. We've still got to do a little bit more testing on the product so we can include some stuff on our labeling for the mozzarella and ricotta and stuff. But we're on the pinnacle of being there, so it's starting to feel good. In the States, there's a lot more of this kind of micro dairy movement, but I think the way it is in Canada in general with the quota system and a lot of the regulations around here are a lot more strict than places where there's this micro dairy thing happening. But with sheep or goat or water buffalo, you don't need quota, so it's a little less prohibitive that way. Plus, the cheese is amazing. It's like so delicious. The richness of the milk really comes out. These guys have such rich milk. The butterfat content's about twice that of most cows, so you can really taste that. There's like a sweetness in the milk too.
I started trying to make the cheese, and of course I didn't have any water buffalo milk, so I was trying with just regular milk from the store. And then I've basically just been experimenting for the past few years, just trying to make stuff that tastes good and finally getting somewhere, I think. My favorite part of everything is experimenting and creating new things. So I really like to get something down to like where I consider it to be the best it can be. But it's getting there that's my favorite part, and like the repeated failures are not my favorite part, but I like, you know, growing and evolving. Well, I grew up here and I always wanted to come back, and it was really hard to come back for a few years. It felt like there was no one around. But all of a sudden there's been like this boom in this area of young families and just young people, and people seem really hungry for good food and local food and you know, organic. So it's just been really, it feels like we couldn't do this anywhere else. It feels like we have to do it here, basically. The reward is just knowing that, you know, we're doing the best job we can and we're making the best product we can for our customers. And in the future, the reward will hopefully be just like being able to hire people in the community to do the same thing and being able to go to the beach more, which we want to do. But yeah, just being able to, you know, take the best care of the animals we can and just have control over that factor. And also just to be able to live in this beautiful place is an amazing reward.
Right now, well, we're hoping it's gonna chill out a little bit, because part of why we live here and one of the things we love about this area is just that it's a wonderful place to relax, chill out. There's lots of good friends close by. There's lots of nice beaches close by. But right now, the way it is, we have not had time for that. It's been a lot of 14-hour work days lately, and it's going to change pretty soon. If it doesn't, I mean, the summer is kind of the time we're trying to make hay while the sun shines. But it's also, it's nice that we're able to really give her here while we're setting this up. In general, being out here, I love being with these animals. I love being outdoors. I love working on these buildings, and I love working with this delicious food. So those are all great things. Those are all things I want our son to have an appreciation for, and also being able to know your neighbors. And you know, there's 3 kids in the 3 next door houses that are under the age of 5. So it's like there's a real, it seems kind of counter to the narrative that we hear about rural Nova Scotia, which is great. And it's kind of a vision that a lot of young families around here kind of have for their kids, and it's very intentional that we want our kids to be able to have an understanding of the outside world and nature and being able to have a sense of community. It's important.